Yo, what is going on, guys? It is Bill, and I'm back with another video. Today, we're going to be going over some plays that happened today. We got a couple fair value gap alert calls that led to some pretty big profits. Today, I'm up like 1500. So let's just say the fair value gap's paid. I only had to take two trades today because that's all I needed to get my profits, but yeah, let's just hop right into it. So our first call came at 8:30 actually right away, and it was a long call. So that came in basically from this. And I actually forgot to mention this trade actually I actually took a loss on this trade, but I was on a practice count. So I actually wasn't two for two today, but I took a small loss on it, and then I realized that it was I realized that it was a practice account. So when I actually got to re-enter, it was on this retest of the inverse fair value gap. So on my main account, I got an entry around here, and then we continued down. So ideally, I wanted it to go, um, fill back here, and then just kind of continue back up like that, to like new highs. But we get the full close underneath here, and then that invalidates the fair value gap. So that now we're looking for shorts, and we got the buyback into the zone. I'm pretty sure I got actually like a really good fill at like this 50% mark of the fair value gap, and then I wrote it down under here, and then I was targeting those. I was targeting these, and then lastly, I was targeting down here as well, which we never got to. But I held all the way through this, and then I sold like I think on this candle when it started going back up, and it was like $600 profit. So overall, really good trade for the first fair value gap. I did get I did miss the long call. I took a small loss on that, but the inverse fair value gap paid. And you did get actually multiple times, multiple places to potentially enter. So you got a re-entry here, which was perfect for whoever missed that. So that was trade number one. It was pretty quick and easy. And then our next one came in at 851, which is about when we made this move down. So 851, it pops here. So then it's, well, actually, let me just quick look. Yeah, so 51 and 52. So both these fair value gaps are being called. So if you remember yesterday, we had this scenario where this happened, and essentially it did some consolidation and then kept going. And then later in the day, it had a similar fair value, like double stacked fair value gap here, I guess you could say. Um, but instead, it actually went up and into the top fair value gap. Um, and I took a loss because I went for the inverse fair value gap of this first one. So then it just went up like this candle, and then instead of like going up, it went into this fair value gap and then went straight down. So giving me the inverse signal here, but then continuing lower. So I was thinking about that today, just to keep an eye on and like what actually is going to happen. Um, so when I first saw this, I was actually being a bit cautious, not trying to go for an inverse fair value gap right away and like try to go longs off this candle. Um, but the thing that pushed me to do it is we actually got a long fair value gap call at 55. So that was, oops, that was, if I back this up, it was this candle that actually pinged the long fair value gap. And I was kind of looking at tilt. I was seeing that a lot of people were short. Um, we had just kind of sold off everything. We took this liquidity out, so I was like a bit happy about that. Um, so I actually did take this fair value gap long, which is like the classic entry that I kind of teach here is create the fair value gap here. We come back in and then we maybe chop around and then we kind of continue there. So that's exactly what happened, and it was a textbook fair value gap entry here. I was targeting like here. I was targeting here. This was like my final exit, and then this was just a place of that I would watch. Like I would take partials here if I was in more than one contract. But I actually ended up just getting stopped out, or not stopped out, maxed. Excuse me. I ended up getting maxed out like right here because I hit my 1500 profit target for the day, so it auto liquidated me. Um, but anyway, some really easy fair value gaps, and even if you didn't like this long fair value gap, we did get some inverse fair value gaps here where you could have entered. You could have entered here, um, and if you were ambitious, we could have entered somewhere in this chop area. I think is fair, right? Of course, there's always going to be risk involved, and that's just the part of trading, right? You have to deploy risk in order to receive some reward. So um, I saw the risk. I was willing to risk this low to enter here and try to go for these highs, and we did end up getting there. So it was a really great trade. Two trades, one and done today. There was a couple more scanners that went off today, but I actually just stopped trading after this. Like we have a 902 fair value gap, 914, 957. So all these are kind of just confirmation candles that we're going the right direction. You could take these like really small ones, like I'm seeing like this. Of course, this is hindsight, but this is just opportunities where you could maybe get an entry and then target something really close like here, um, which you would have been able to hit. But doing stuff like this, there's like an inverse fair value gap right here. Is that the 957? No, that's not the 957 one. The 957 one is this one, which ended up being an inverse fair value gap, which we can put on the board quickly. So this one's almost an immediate inversal here. We got the short. You could have waited a little bit for a better entry, but then we actually run down to these lows through here. And if you're really aggressive, you keep holding, which I think we end up selling off a lot. But yeah, the main trades, winning trades, were this morning's from 8:30 to I think 9:30. So hour trading, two trades, you're done. You basically caught the whole move down and then caught the whole move up. And yeah, so if you want to hop in the Discord and get some of these fair value gap calls, make sure to check out the link in the description. And yeah, I'll see you in there. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you guys next week. Have a good one. Peace.